Hello everybody and welcome to another reaction video. And today we're going to be revisiting Fleshgod Apocalypse again. Now this is because they recently released a new track called Sugar. Now normally I would stick to my list as is my usual thing, you know, I try to keep to my list, do it in the order I get them because it's only fair. However, I've actually received a phenomenal number of requests for this because it's a new release and the like. Now, I've reacted to Fleshgod Apocalypse 3 times before, and all 3 times it's been a very different experience. The songs have been very different every single time I've listened to them, but I've always enjoyed them. So I'll be intrigued to see what this one's going to be like. Now, the track itself is called Sugar, came out maybe a week or 2 ago, so I'm a little bit late to the party, but I don't care. I'm not all about rushing in and being first. So, yeah, I've spoken about the band on previous occasions, so I'm not going to go into detail about who Fleshgod Apocalypse are. Can't really find much about the song, but I do have the lyrics up here so we can see what we can discern from that. So I think what we'll do is we'll get straight into the track and see where it goes. So it's Sugar by Fleshgod Apocalypse. Very heavy, and very much not about sugar. But what I can tell you about is it's about drugs. I can tell you that much. So I opened up with a very quiet, almost chant saying, "Push this sugar will kill your pain," repeated like 4 or 5 times. Excuse me. Then it came in with, sate your frustration, quench your sick desire, sweeten your pain with fairy dust. As desperation melts down this toxic powder on that spoon, you set your life on fire. So that sounds immediately like he's talking about heroin. I mean, the line there, as desperation melts down this toxic powder on that spoon, you set your life on fire. You know, obviously cooking, heroin, junk, whatever you want to call it. And it goes, sense of shame to forget, far astray you'll wander, isolated in regret, narcotize your existence. So, talking about the isolation of drug addiction and stuff like that. In self-destruction, it's self-destruction with suicide. These wicked voices bewitch you, but you are too young to die. Speak to your torment, honey, and listen to your soul. As we're the temple of strength, we must soldier on. So he's saying it's self-destruction with suicide. So that's essentially all that drugs are. You're destroying your life, you're destroying your body, and over time it will kill you. So it's literally a voluntary suicide, more or less. These wicked voices bewitching you, that's probably the voices of addiction, you know, the things that tell you that you need or want more. It could possibly also be the people, like peer pressure, trying to get you to take drugs, go on, try it, it's really, really good. It could be that. It says, but you're too young to die, so obviously, well, you're never too young to die, really, are you? Let's face that fact. It says, speak to your torment, honey, and listen to your soul, as we're a temple of strength and we must soldier on. Now, is he suggesting, like, you know, listen to what you're doing to yourself? You know, you're a strong person, you can get over this, you can stop this, you don't need this, maybe? I'm not sure. And then it goes, push, 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 push. I want to see you push. The hunter has become the prey, the master turned into a slave. Push, 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 push. We all want to see your push. Your mother's cry, your father's prayers, they just mean nothing. So, with that push, 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 we want to see you push. Is that, you know, just, you know, push to get clean, to give up the drugs? Possible. Because it's saying the hunter has become the prey, the master has turned into a slave. So they're basically saying, you know, you've become weak, you've become subservient to this substance that really, it does no good for you. You know, it might make you feel good momentarily, but at the end of the day, what does it really do except destroy your life, destroy the lives of your family, and essentially, sooner or later, kill you. And it says there, your mother's cry and father's prayers, they just mean nothing. So it's like, no matter how much this person's parents are begging them to, like, go to rehab or, you know, get help for taking drugs, it's that, you know, this just falling on deaf ears because all this person can think of is where their next fix is coming from. And then it says, push and pump this venom through the veins into your bleeding heart. Push and put an end to all of this pain with this final act. Push. So, again, that sounds like he's actually encouraging an overdose. You know, pump this venom through the veins into your bleeding heart. So that's just the way that things like heroin and stuff work anyway. You know, just jab it in, pump it in, and then feel great for about, I don't know, an hour or two. I don't know exactly what it's like because I absolutely abhor drugs. And then it says, put an end to all of this pain with this final act. So that to me sounded like a suggestion of, you know, just overdose and get it over with. It's a very strong meaning to the song because it's not necessarily a taboo subject. It's just something that people prefer not to talk about because they want to pretend it doesn't exist. So let's carry on and see what happens. There we go, that was Sugar by Fleshgod Apocalypse, and it was a fantastic track, really, really heavy, really, really intense, and it covers some very heavy and intense subject matter, and it's very good, you know, it's a very good subject to talk about, and it's done very well. So, it's quite a song to take in. It came back in there. Orgasmic rapture, down in a hole, the needle bleeds, the pleasure grows. Internal fracture, denial of your soul, your blood freezes your body. And then it comes back in with that push, 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 push. Now let me see you push. The hunter has become the prey, the master's turned into the slave. Push, 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 push. We all want to see your push, your mother's cry, your father's prayers. Make way for silence. So there's a slight change there, and then it goes push, pump this venom through the veins into your bleeding heart, push, put an end to it all, put an end to all this pain with this final act, push. And then it ends with these last couple of lines. How can you do this to yourself in your very prime? Life's worth living, no matter what is the sacrifice, fight. So, you know, it got some pretty important lines in there. I mean up there, orgasmic rapture, down in a hole, is obviously, you know, the feeling you get, the euphoric feeling you get from taking these substances. You know, it feels great for a while, but it says orgasmic rapture, down in a hole, so essentially it feels great, but at the end of the day, you're a prisoner to this. You know, whilst it might feel good, at the end of the day, or after, you know, the effects wear off, you're going to be sitting alone in the dark, no friends, and, you know, you're ruining your life. Now he says, the needle bleeds, the pleasure grows, again describing the internal fracture, denial of your soul, your blood freezes your body. That bit I'm not entirely sure about. But yeah, I've discussed the push, push, push bit before. And then those last couple of words, I really like those last couple of lines. When it says, how can you do this to yourself in your very prime? Life's worth living, no matter what is the sacrifice, fight. So it's like, why would you pump this toxic through your body? I mean, at the end of the day, it makes you feel good very, very temporarily, and let's face it, it actually makes your life worse. You know, you're at a point in your life where you can do anything, you can make anything of yourself. You know, why would you just throw that all away to feel great momentarily, and, you know, essentially lose all your money, and more often than not, it leads to a life of crime. And it says, life's worth living, no matter what is the sacrifice. You know, it's like, no matter what you're going through, you know, you might be having a really hard time in life. You might be having a really hard time in life, but life is worth living, and there is always a way through it. There is always an answer that doesn't involve substance abuse. Now, some people turn to substance abuse because it's easier. Some people, you know, so some people it's like the first thing that comes to hand. You know, for others, you know, it's alcoholism. You know, everybody finds a different way of coping with hard, stressful and depressing situations. And unfortunately, some people do turn to drugs even, you know, although, you know, it's incredibly expensive, and it can essentially kill you very, very easily with the slightest miscalculation. So, you know, he's going on life is worth living. No matter how hard it is, there is a way through it, you know. If you fight being the very last word of the song. And again, it's another one of those songs that just ends with that last final word. So, it's a very good song, very deep meaning, very, very heavy, and again, it seems to be drastically different to every other song of theirs I heard. They seem to vary very much in their musical style. But excuse me. Yes, a very, very good song. And it's interesting that they called it Sugar. But I wonder, You know, maybe that's a slang term for it. I don't know, because I know that System of a Down did a song called Sugar. I don't know what that actual song is about, because I've never really read the lyrics to it. For all I know, it could be about a similar subject. I don't know. But no, very, very good song. Very, very intense. Very powerful meaning. Very, very good. But I'll leave that as it is, because I can't think of anything else to say about it. Now, if anybody else would like to make a suggestion, I will be getting back to my list as per normal from tomorrow. If anybody wants to make a suggestion, then please do so by all means. You can drop a comment in the comment section below, or you can message me on my Facebook or my Instagram. The links for those are in the description down there. Just know that if you do suggest a track, it might take a while for me to get around to it, since my list I get about a dozen tracks as suggested to me every single day, so my list grows faster than I can record the videos. But rest assured, I do write down every single suggestion that I get, so it will get done eventually. It will just take a while to get to it. Also, a Metalhead Reacts is a very proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation. They are a British-based charity whose main goal is to put an end to hate crimes. Mostly hate crimes aimed at the alternative subculture, people who dress in alternative fashion or listen to alternative music. But essentially, all hate crimes. You know, they want to put an end to this, you know, torrent of hate that seems to be flowing through the world at the moment. Because it's like, no matter how you live your life, as long as you live in your life within the confines of the law, no one really has any right to dictate to you how you live your life. You know, if you want to listen to alternative music, you damn well listen to it. If you want to dress in alternative clothing, you go ahead. More power to you. Because nobody anywhere has any right to tell you otherwise. You know, they might not like it, but if they don't want to see it, they don't have to look at it. They don't want to listen to the music, they don't have to listen to the music. That doesn't mean they have to try and stop us from doing it. It's not up to them, it's not their decision, and just because they don't like it doesn't give them the right to attack, verbally or physically, anybody who thinks differently. Everybody has the right to be an individual. If we all liked the same stuff, this world would be such a boring place. So, you know, I still struggle to understand how people can justify themselves in attacking people in this manner. It's, you know, sort of like, you know, you don't like the same music as I do, so I'm going to beat you up. You don't wear the same clothes as I do, so I'm going to beat you up. It doesn't make sense to me. It's completely illogical. There's no way you can justify it. You could talk to me for hours and hours and hours about the reasons behind why you would beat someone up because they don't listen to the same music as you. And I would just stare at you. I'd just be like, you know, I cannot reach you on an intellectual level, because there is absolutely no justification for violence, verbal or physical, against someone just for having a difference of opinion. You know, we get enough hate and aggro in this world as it is from politicians. You know, there is enough war and conflict over petty little things. Why do we need to add to it? You know, why can't we all just let people be who they want to be? You know, if we all liked exactly the same stuff, it wouldn't stop people bloody committing wars and acts of treason like that. Because there would always be something that people would argue over. And I'm going to sneeze in a minute. Nope, I'm alright. No. Excuse me. You know, it's pathetic. I mean, would you really go down the street and beat someone up because they like a different flavour ice cream to you? Because that's the same level of logic. You know, it doesn't make sense. It's stupid. I mean, no, I don't get it. I cannot for the life of me, get my head around the idea that people think it's an okay thing to do. So, yeah. I think it's a very worthwhile charity myself, because, you know, I've been attacked many times because of the music I listen to. Many of my friends have suffered the same fate. You know, we've just been minding our own business, you know, not even playing music, you know, not even dressed that gaudily. I mean, just walking down the street in black jeans and a band t-shirt, I've been, like, bundled into walls, I've been jumped from behind, you know. I'm not shoving it in anybody's face, I'm just minding my own business, and I'm still getting attacked for it, just because I'm different. You know. And it's something that needs to stop. We need to put a stop to, like, all this prejudice, all this hatred, all this intolerance towards people who have their own mind. So, you know, I do think the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is very, very worthwhile. So if you want to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to their website in the description below. You can go over there, find out what they're working on at the moment, find out what their main goal is, because they can explain it so much better than I can, because I go off on random tangents. And if you can help them in any way whatsoever, even if it's something as simple as one of these Sophie bracelets, they're like £1 on the web store. You know, they do have other stuff, like, you know, they've got this one here, and they've got other stuff like t-shirts and stuff, I believe. You know, every little bit helps, and is very, very much appreciated. So, you know, if you can help, that would be absolutely fantastic. But going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.